might just start off with an update on Hammer.
Yeah, a little bit of a scare the other day. I must admit I held my breath for a couple of seconds, but just got a bit of a bump. He pulled through it fine, and he's okay.
What was it? Just a fork or a bit of contact?
Just a bit of contact. Yeah, no, he's all right. Like I said, I too held my breath for a couple of minutes whenever someone drops, and thankfully for not just Queensland but for the Dolphins and Hammer in general, he's okay.
There's a delayed start for Cameron too. Are you happy with how many reps he got in a fullback over his last couple of days?
Yeah. In short, yes. Yeah, I am. He's built into a real professional, Kalen. He's got a real hunger to play the game as best he can and contribute to his footy team. He understands the game really well, and looking forward to Kalen getting out there and the team helping him get his game on. He's a really dangerous player. We know what he's capable of, but he's got some good team habits in his game as well that we're looking for him to help connect with the rest of his teammates.
How big is it having Munster back, Billy, on him? People talking about Nathan Cleary being great, which is huge for them, but Cameron Munster, what a player he's been for Queensland. What does that do for the team and what you can achieve?
Yeah, I think on and off the field, Joel, it's like he's a real infectious person. On the field, he's we know what type of player he is on the field, and he has so much influence over how we play, but at the same time, off the field, he's just a great character. Everyone's got a smile on their face when they're around Cameron Munster, and whether he's saying something good or saying something silly, it's irrelevant really. He just brings the mood, to that even playing field, and he's just got that ability. But he's another one that we need to get our game on. We need to get our game right, so guys like Kalen Ponga and Cameron Munster can outlay their strengths. So that'll be the plan.
We'll talk about the game, Billy. You talk about the game. Sorry, talk about the game. Last year, you didn't score a try in the third game. Do you want to see more attack? And can those guys like Munster and Ponga just ignite with that block?
No, it won't just ignite. It won't just happen. We've got to make it happen. A few tries would be nice, wouldn't it? We've worked on a balanced preparation through the last 10 days, and hopefully that'll show on the field. And you can't just get one part of your game right. You need to get your whole game right, and that's what we focused on. So a little bit of opposition, majority of us, and then the whole balance of the game.
With Valier sort of lending a hand to the Blues side, does it change sort of the way that Munster and Harry Grant approach this game? Do they change anything with their game?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think when you've got quality people in and around the footy team, the one thing that I know is they're going to be prepared. Not just Craig, but Laurie Daly, Brett White, Matt King. They've got good people in and around their camp, and they're going to be well prepared. We know that it's state of origin. We just got to make sure that we're well prepared too, so we can go after our game.
When you picked Robert Toyer, you probably knew he was going to be up against Latrell Mitchell, the left side player that he is. But why do you think he can do the job well up against such an influential player, and what's the key for him coming up against Latrell?
I think I covered it about 9 days ago, Joel, that I've watched Rob's game closely, and probably closer than anyone else, maybe even closer than himself. I think he's built so many great habits in his game. He's a quality player with a lot of talent, but that's not why he's here. He's here because he's mature beyond his years in terms of the habits of his game, and that's what he needs to be focusing on. The talent will come through if we play our footy that we want to, and we need to help Rob get into the game. And it's a real strength of his game, the defensive side. So sure, it's a big task, but he's got a few strengths to outlay as well. Yeah, it's important to us, this place. I think when you start thinking about outcomes, your mind wanders away from what's really important for you and their outcomes. Sure, we don't want those outcomes, but at the same time, we've just been really focused on what process we need to undertake to play our best footy. That's going to help us get a result in the end of the day, and that's going to help send 52,000 screaming Queenslanders home happy, and the rest of the 5.5 million Queenslanders happy as well. So it's about focusing narrow and keeping that focus short term and right in front of us rather than looking at the big picture right now.
You talk about learnings from last year's series. Where do you feel you went wrong last year?
Yeah, there's a few things that I take away from last year, and I'll keep that to myself. Their experiences at the end of the day, and we talk about experience and becoming better from it. I'm like anyone. You learn from a few things, and you go, okay, well, I'll put that in my kit bag and move on. And players are the same. So it's just an experience we went through, and I think I'm a better person for going through every year that I've been involved in State of Origin. So it's just another one.
What must be made of Cam Munster's maturity in the last couple of years? How does that
No, not a joke. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I get you.
Since he's been back in the,
his immaturity is still the same, but like I get what you're saying. He's certainly become a leader. He's a real leader in the footy team. He's very professional. It's hard to believe, but he is a very professional person. He cares about his footy, and he has a real influence over everyone else around him. I do agree with the maturity, although it is funny at times saying Cameron Munster's matured. But it's great to have him back. He's been a wonderful player for a long time, and his focus is being a wonderful player. In 80 minutes tomorrow night.
It is a
talked about the influence that someone like Tino can have on this group after 12 months away. Yeah. Have you already seen that impact in 9 days, and has given this camp a different feel to last year when he was away?
Yeah, Tino's another one of those guys that just has a bit of an aura about him. He's another leader through the middle of the field, and I probably see, throughout everyone else, they just walk that little bit taller when Tino's in their footy team. So, he didn't play last year, Tino, and he didn't play any footy really. So, he's just happy to be back playing. He's happy to be back wearing these colours, and I know how passionate he is to play for this state and this footy team. So, I welcome the inclusion.
It's a pretty stacked Blues popularly versus you were saying about Tino. Do you think you've got the firepower to match him in the midfield?
No, they're a good team, and they always have been. They always will be. But so are we. It's State of Origin. That's why it's so good, isn't it? We can debate about matchups. We can debate about forwards versus forwards, tactics, all that sort of stuff, and that's what brings the attention to this game, and that's why it's so big. And for us, it's just about being the best that we can possibly be collectively as a team and getting our game on, and that will nullify a whole heap of their strengths if we can do that. But at the same time, we're going to have to defend some of their strengths at some point in time.
What have you made of, I don't know if you've even really been tuning into it, but the New South Wales spy game situation where there's
Okay.
each week to Spencer Leniu.
No. Yeah, I'm not aware of any of that. To be totally honest with you, we've been on the Sunshine Coast, and I haven't let myself drift into where I normally sit in the media, which I totally understand that space of the game and the part that everyone plays. It's a big game. I get it. That's why we're standing here, but. I haven't let myself drift there, because at the end of the day, that's not important to me. The most important thing to me is to help these 17 guys prepare for a State of Origin game tomorrow night and help them be at their best for their state and the people of their state. So, to be totally honest with you, I don't know what you're talking about, so I can't really comment on that sort of question.
Now imagine if Britta doesn't play, like I haven't
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. It's probably just an awareness for us to, if he does come out and someone else comes in, that they come in with different strengths. So it's not so much a sigh of relief or anything like that. It's more about, okay, well, that player's out and this player's in. What strengths does he bring to the footy team that we need to be aware of? So it's more about the tactical coaching rather than any sigh of relief or anything like that.
What can we? People are saying maybe Origin is losing a bit of spice compared to a couple of decades ago. What do you think?
Who's people?
Like, they're saying that your team, is a likeable team.
Okay.
There isn't as much
Well,
hatred
we
between sides.
we try and be likeable. We're Queensland's team. Like they're meant to like us. So we had a few thousand people at Sunshine Coast Stadium on Sunday. Look, at the end of the day, you can't help what type of people you are and what type of person I am, and you just got to be real to yourself and true to yourself, and it'll be what it'll be. At the end of the day, we know it's going to be aggressive out there. We know it's going to be confrontational. It's state of origin, and that's just natural. It's going to happen. But at the end of the day, we are who we are, and we're really focused on playing footy.
Trent Leon kind of has a firebrand personality. Expecting that from him in his debut tomorrow?
A little bit on the field, he has shown that, but it's certainly not off the field. He's a pretty humble, respectful guy. We just want Trent to be Trent. Trent's got wonderful qualities in his game. He's got a real good balance to his game from running the footy and also using the football. So, with some of the other power forwards in our middle, he can really free them up and help them isolate some defenders. So, looking forward to him getting out into the game. I saw a photo of him in a Queensland jersey when he was a young fella earlier in the week, and it just reminds you of how much it means to these players. And the dream has been there for a long time, and he gets to fulfil that tomorrow night.
Billy, your skipper. Sorry, you go.
With the Spencer situation, Billy, how do you avoid letting the players get overcome with emotion? What happened to JT?
What situation is that, Jacko?
Like when Spencer had a go at JT at Suncorp Stadium. Given how revered JT is to the Maroons,
yeah.
How do you avoid that happening?
Oh, those things are out of our control. We can't control a lot of things that happen, but there's certain things that we can control, and that's playing footy. I can't stress enough. The big focus for us is to play footy. It's a footy game. That's nothing else. It's not anything else. But you worry about what you can control. That's all we'll be doing.
What about your skipper, Billy?
Yeah, I think I mentioned before, the one thing I do know about Craig Bellamy is that he's very thorough with his preparation, and any team that he's involved in, whether he's coaching director, or just hanging around, I expect them to be very prepared, because that's the only way Craig Bellamy knows how to go about it. He's a very prepared person. He works hard. He's a good man. I've got a lot of respect for him. So, yeah.
What about Billy, your skipper? I know there's been talk about his club form, but do you feel he's on the wane, or can he get the job done in the series?
Yeah, he's been great during the week. We know what he brings to the team, and when Daly's at his best, he's a wonderful player, and he contributes enormously to his footy team. So that's all we asked of Daly as the halfback, and in terms of the skipper tag, the best leaders get their job done in their position, and that's all we ask of Daly. Well, firstly, you don't worry about Nathan Cleary. You worry about yourself, and you play your footy, and you get that on. And if you can do that, that'll help. He's a wonderful player, and the one thing that he is, he's always in the game. He's in the game passing. He's in the game kicking, but more than anything, he's in the game running, and that's what we do need to defend.
What about in your full series, Billy? Do you feel pressure after last year's series, or how do you manage the expectation?
It's a good question. Do I feel nervous? Yes. Do I feel any more nervous than last year? No. This means a lot. It means a lot to Queensland. It means a lot to me. That's why I'm here. Whether it's pressure, nerves, importance, I'm not sure, but. It's when you get that feeling, it just means something to you. And I didn't feel these nerves when I was playing at Leichhardt Oval in round 17 and on a Saturday night, but I certainly felt them when I was putting the socks and boots on playing for Queensland, and I still feel them. I think it's healthy.
Billy, there's a back page where you went up do we sometimes take this like really encouragement, or we just
I haven't seen that headline, and it wouldn't have come from anyone within intern. So Yeah, you might have to ask the person who put the headline up there. That certainly didn't come from me.
I'll take credit, Billy, for that. It was
Can we get a shot of Pete Bedell? Pete
me on
Bedell.
camera with
There
Billy.
you go, mate. There you go.
Billy, is this part of the pantomime
Yeah.
of Origin, though? Is it lost that, like, the narratives, the spy says Jack through his forward? Do you think we need the narrative and the pantomime of Origin back a little bit to promote the code?
I don't know. I don't think so. The game is the game. The game sells itself. I think there's been some incredible battles in State of Origin. Not more than the last one. A couple of deciders ago, there was a huge one. Like there's been some great encounters at State of Origin, and I don't know if you need the bit of feud off the field. Well, you're probably not doing the job on the field, and I think they're doing the job on the field at the moment.
How's Tommy looked in camp? Well excited to see how you might use him. Can you give any hints?
I don't know, to be honest. One thing I do know is I'm not worried about where he goes. Tommy's he's just a little competitor. I love his attitude. I love him as a person, and he's just one of those guys that if he's in your team, you're happy. He could play in the middle. He play dummy half. He play in the backs. We know what he can do in the halves as well. So, a wonderful person to have on the bench, and looking forward to seeing him get out there and play for Queensland.
We've seen you do a late switch with the forward pack last couple of series, doing tricks up your sleeve.
Not at this stage. We've still got a training session to go, but not at this stage, no.